Hello everyone. Alright. The last batch of science and money earned was enough to buy some airplane parts, and not enough to get landing gear yet, so that's why we're taking off straight up like this. It's not a problem though. Now, I didn't do a whole lot of testing of this plane. I just did a quick launch in an alternate save, made sure it could take off, made sure it could land, and that was about it. This is using one basic engine, so it's definitely a low-level plane. I have no idea what the service ceiling is at this point. And we are off to do some 2 surveys. I think the benefits of using a plane for these is pretty obvious. Very fuel efficient, so you're not going to spend a lot of money on fuel, and you can very accurately land close to base. Now, the dirt runway that comes out in the beginning is really, really tough to land on. I did one practice landing with a plane like this with wheels, and it was just way too bumpy, so I don't know, might end up landing with parachutes, or landing at least vertically on a lot of aircraft here until I can upgrade that runway. So you're watching this at 3 times speed. Alright, starting our climb to get up to the survey altitude. So now you're seeing the first big problem with this aircraft. As soon as you get to about 280 meters per second, it becomes very difficult to control. Pick up whatever science I can, flying over these different biomes. Another thing I learned is that you don't really have enough power to transmit too many crew reports. And when you're transmitting, you get low on battery power, the plane becomes even harder to control. Now the next biome here is, you have to be at a high altitude, you have to be above, I think it was 19,200 meters. And I'd made like 5 attempts to get to that altitude. I'm going to show one more attempt here as I try to refly that mission, but basically it was a total failure. I could get up to 17,000, 18,000, etc., but could not quite come close to the 19.2 that I needed. So I'll show you the landing. Some frame rate issues here. Okay, throttle back, pull straight up. on until you get to as low a speed as you possibly can and pop the chutes. And I realize I am so close to being on this runway that I will try my technique I showed last time to try and move this thing over. Which actually works a little bit smoother. There we go. Okay, on recovery, I did make it on the runway, got 100% back, got a little bit of science, got a whole bunch of funds, 15,000 or so, almost no expense for that flight. Okay, so I went and I picked up another contract here out on the desert that I can easily get to. It's a low altitude one, and it just so happens it's right in line with the high altitude one, so we're going to give it another go. Okay, this is my closest attempt at getting to 19,000 feet on this one basic engine. And I don't think that intake error was the problem here. Maybe, but I don't think so. I think it was just a lack of thrust at high altitude. This is an engine that's tuned for low altitude. So I couldn't slowly climb to that altitude at all, so what I tried doing was just kind of a power climb. Slowly climb up, I'd have to go much faster than I could possibly control this aircraft on, because it wobbles at high speed. This is probably my, I don't know, 6th attempt at this. So right now I'm just trying to keep my prograde vector above the target on the nav ball. And right now you can see it dropping below. I'm trying to get up there anyway, 18,000. I think I'm going to make it on this one. But nope, not quite. That's right, I think it was like 18.8. I got within a few hundred meters of it. And then right here I just can't even pull up. Plane just wants to wobble, so I'm going to have to come back with a suborbital rocket on this. The low altitude survey out by the desert is nothing special, nothing to show there. Okay, it's cut to this one's landing. It's looking like another perfect landing. I think I do have to move it over just a little bit. Throttle down. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Not looking good. Ooh. That was an interesting crash. I've never seen the dirt crash effect before. At least everybody survived. Bunch of science here, another 15 grand in funds. And all it cost me was a tail and some fuel. Not bad. Alright, so now we're going after that that high altitude survey that eluded me. I'm gonna go after that with a rocket instead. This one's high enough up, far enough away. I definitely want to get up through the lower part of the atmosphere here before tipping over, heading over towards it. Pick up a lot of speed once we hit, 16, 18,000, 20,000. I actually don't want, I want as little speed as possible because I'm a little concerned about the parachute deployment speed. So I'm trying to keep this kind of low. Plenty of altitude. I know that this survey has to happen right here at the edge of the hills where the grassland starts. So it's looking pretty good. Okay, got that contract fulfilled. I always have to land it safely. I know from experience now I need to wait until I get into the low atmosphere, let it slow me down, then deploy the parachute. Of course, if your craft is too heavy, you're not going to slow down. Now, this only works if your craft is light. So after this flight, I have enough science to unlock the landing gear. The landing gear leads to doing some very easy science collection around KSP. I'll quickly show you the craft here when we get back, and then what the first mission looks like. That vehicle is laughable. Cover that one fast. Okay, here it is, the science cart. Utterly ridiculous, as you can see. Now, these wheels don't have a drive like the B9 landing gear, so you have to use an engine. You have to go nice and slow because, of course, this thing is super wobbly. And here we are over in the spaceplane hangar area. Had to take the thermometer there, take the data from it, place it in the cockpit. Okay, now I can trigger on my science. Lay down. Good dog. Good dog. Why did I do that? Well, you'll see in a minute here. Ta-da! The landing gear were out. There would be no way I could do that, of course. Now I can drive right on back to the runway and retrieve this for 100% recovery. So what I'm thinking now, the next thing for my space program is to get up into orbit, and for usability I need something that can land, and so what I think I need to do is get the 800 size fuel tank here and the tri-coupler. So I still have a little bit of science to go. I'm probably going to use that silly science cart to collect, I'll collect as much as I can, and see what I should get from there. Alright everybody, good night.